There is a particular feeling that has no clean name yet. You are in a conversation, or a meal, or a moment that should matter, and something is slightly off. Not wrong, not painful, just thin. Like the world has a layer of glass between you and it. You reach for the feeling, and it moves. This isn't depression, it's not anxiety. It's something quieter and harder to locate, and it's becoming the default register of modern life. Jean Baudrillard wrote about this in 1981. He called it hyperreality. His argument was simple and devastating. The image of a thing eventually replaces the thing itself. First, we make representations of reality, maps, photographs, models. Then the representations become more useful than reality, more accessible, more vivid. Then reality begins to feel like a pale copy of its own representation. The menu photograph looks better than the meal, the travel photo more saturated than the place, the memory of the holiday more cinematic than the holiday was. Baudrillard said this wasn't coming, it had already happened. We misread this as a science fiction problem. The Matrix, virtual reality, a future where we plug into machines. But Baudrillard's simulation isn't digital, it's cultural. It happens through advertising, through branding, through the slow replacement of experience with the image of experience. You don't need a headset, you need an Instagram feed and 2 years. The simulation is already running. It runs on attention, on desire, on the gap between what is and what is shown. Mark Fisher came at this from a different angle. He called it capitalist realism, the sense that the present system is so total, so complete, that alternatives have become literally unimaginable. But beneath that argument was something more personal. Fisher wrote about a creeping sense of unreality, a flatness, a world that produces sensation without depth. He described walking through a hospital and feeling that everything was surface, clean, functional, emptied of meaning. This wasn't psychosis, it was a rational response to an irrational world. A world that had optimized for appearance over substance, for signal over experience. The screen accelerates this, not because screens are evil, because screens are optimized for image, for the most compelling version of a thing, not the most accurate. The news that reaches you has been selected for emotional impact. The profiles you see have been curated for impression. The products shown to you have been designed to feel like needs. After enough exposure, unmediated reality feels slow, flat, under-designed. A forest doesn't have a soundtrack. A conversation doesn't have an edit. A meal doesn't arrive with the right lighting. Reality keeps failing to meet the standards set by its own representations. There is a clinical word for the glass feeling: dissociation. Psychologists use it to describe detachment from experience, a sense of watching yourself from outside. But what was once a symptom is becoming an adaptation. When reality is consistently outperformed by its image, dissociation is not a malfunction. It's a reasonable response. The self learns to hold experience at arm's length, to observe rather than feel, to document rather than inhabit. There is no clean answer to this. Baudrillard didn't offer one. Fisher didn't either. The standard response, put down the phone, go outside, be present, mistakes the symptom for the cause. The feeling of unreality isn't produced by individual screen time. It's produced by a system that has restructured reality around its own image. You can log off. The restructuring continues. What remains is the feeling, quiet, persistent, the glass between you and everything. And a faint suspicion that the glass has always been there, that perhaps it was always this way, and perhaps that's the most unsettling thought of all.